Generating exceptional ideas. Listen to this. All things being equal, the quality of your harvest is determined by the quality of your seed. All things being equal, the quality of your harvest is determined by the quality of your seed. Great achievements begin with great ideas. Great achievements begin with great ideas. My objective in this session is I want you to become that person who knows how to generate exceptional ideas. There are some people that people celebrate, but when I observe them, a part of me feels bad, a part of me feels jealous because I am not the one that came up with that idea. One of such persons is Mark Zuckerberg. When I think about what I was doing in my 200 level, I feel bad. Being a young man, just fresh in the university, look at the kind of thing he's thinking about. He came up with an idea that became so massive, he had to quit school to pursue it. Somebody else woke up, and the greatest idea he has come up with is how to fight somebody on Facebook. Did you catch that? Some people, the most intelligent thing they've done is argue with somebody else on Facebook. And they have not said to myself, the person that came up with the Facebook is younger than I am. What am I doing with my brain? Do you understand? How to generate exceptional ideas. So there are 4 things I said in the book. I will run over them. Then I want to cover material that's not in the book. So in the book, we talked about where do great ideas come from. Let me back up a little bit. If you work for an organization, forget what they tell you to do. Your value to the organization is tied to your ability to bring great ideas to the table. So many years ago, Dr. Sam Adeyemi wrote a book, powerful book titled, Ideas Rule the World. And it's true. Ideas rule the world. So you want to be that person who knows how to generate ideas. So in the book we said, where do great ideas come from? Said number 1, great ideas come from divine inspiration. So my advice is that you invest in prayer and meditation. Those of us, most of us who are people of faith, prayer and meditation is not a religious thing. Prayer and meditation is a strategy thing. Okay? Prayer and, let me say this, let me put it this way. How many of us use ChatGPT? Anybody? Let me describe it to you this way. Since I started using ChatGPT, unconsciously I have fired certain people from my life. See, I don't need their opinion anymore. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because the AI is doing better thinking. As a matter of some people, see, when you get home, if you've not been using ChatGPT, just go and use it. As you are using it, be asking yourself questions. Because if you are listening to me and you're one of those people that's like, I'm tired, don't stress me. I can't think right now. Then just start your system and ask ChatGPT a question. It never responds by saying, I can't think right now. And the responses are always very, very intelligent. Listen, it was designed by men. So the breakthrough is not computer. The breakthrough is that some human being somewhere came up with that idea. Did you catch it? Okay? Artificial intelligence is the product of divine intelligence. That's what I'm saying. And what you have is, so when you hear people say things like, AI will take over human, it will take over the job of some people. But I can't remember the guy's name right now, the guy running the company. Yeah, he was fired and in like 72 hours or thereabout, got his job back. Why? Because the rest of the guys working with him said, if he's not here, we quit too. Can AI take that kind of a person's job? The only people whose job AI will take over are people who were not thinking before AI came. Do you understand? So we've got to become those people who learn to generate ideas. The Bible says that God's wisdom is past finding out. That is why you want to invest time. I'm not being religious. It's a practical thing. God is very, very smart. He is smarter than ChatGPT. So the Bible records that there was an argument. Some people were arguing with Stephen. Said, but they could not withstand the words he was speaking. And the Bible records that the words he was speaking were being fed to him by the Holy Spirit. if you are a person of faith, but you don't invest time in meditation, it's like somebody who has an helicopter in Lagos and you are stuck on Third Mainland Bridge. You get that now? A lot of what we call problems shouldn't be problems. Because sometimes you will have solutions before the problem understands that it is a problem. Yeah. Great ideas come from divine inspiration. Number 2, great ideas come from solitude. Great ideas come from solitude. So my advice is you should invest in solitude. You must have a place and an allotted time or times for thinking. I didn't say praying, no. Praying is a different ballgame entirely. Thinking. You must have a time and a place. Some people listening to me now, you have heard it for years. And the question I want you to answer is, where is your place and time of thinking? Because the quality of your thinking will determine the quality of your life. So the problem is a lot of times we don't make time for thinking. Good ideas don't jump on people. You have to have a time and a place. And you see, the way a lot of people brag about how many hours they spend in prayer. Don't brag to people, but you should be able to brag to yourself about how much of time you invest in thinking. You see, thinking is like mining. The value of what you get is determined by how deep you are willing to go. If we start digging now, we see soil we can use to plant. If we dig a little deeper, we'll get water. And water is good. But then if you ignore water and you dig a little deeper, okay, you will hit some precious stones. Yeah, that's good. But then if you keep digging, you will hit oil. And it's the same thing with thinking. Some people, all they have produced with their thinking is loamy soil. Loamy soil. Rocky, I can't remember now. Sandy soil. Okay? And all you are producing is one small garden for your family to eat. Whereas if you will think deeper, you will eat gold. You will hit oil. All right? So you need to have a time and a place where you think. Number 3, great ideas come from feeding your mind consistently with great ideas. This is important. Great ideas come from feeding your mind consistently with great ideas. So I'm asking you to invest in books. I'm asking you to invest in videos, podcasts, training programs like this, and traveling. It's an investment. Go to places you have never been before. See things you have never seen before. Great ideas come from feeding your mind consistently. That's why you see. Buying books, for those of you who like to calculate your money very well, the money you spend on books, please don't put it in the expense column. Put it in the investment column. The money you buy on books, you spend on books. Craig Groeschel wrote a book about over 10 years ago. Some of you, we've read it together. It. Powerful book. Then in 2022, he revised the book, expanded it. I have finished it. The new edition. Some of you, I gave you a copy. If you know how I extracted that audio, that one I gave you. But I did. Just for you to understand. It's an investment. There are things he said in that book that he did not say in the first. Okay? Only for me to find out that he was quoting an author that I had not read. But now that I have read his book, I have gained the wisdom of this author that he has read that I have not read. So it's an investment. If you want to be a smart person, you want to generate ideas, just make it a habit to consume great ideas. Just make it a habit. So on a monthly basis, I listen to Craig Groeschel, I listen to Annie Stanley, I listen to Stephen Furtick, I listen to Pojo Yemade. Okay? You have to get to that point where you know that all things are yours. The most intelligent of men don't belong to some people. Do you understand? And you have to have a plan for it. If you catch me in my car and it's not between 7:30 and 8, you cannot hear the radio playing. I would only listen to the radio when I'm taking my kids to school. Once it's 8 o'clock, it's not news. I'm not playing the radio. I'm listening to a podcast. I'm listening to a message. Okay? I have a Bluetooth speaker that I take to the restroom with me. Because my sound system, I can't move it. So when I'm listening to a teaching on my system and I need to go take my bath, I switch to my phone, then I take my Bluetooth speaker. I keep listening. And my life is seamless. So from the bedroom, I move into my car. It continues in my car where it stopped in the room. I get here and I have to stop. By the time I'm going home, it continues from where it stopped. I have YouTube Premium. It is not expense. It's an investment. So I don't get distracted by adverts. And I have people I listen to. That's where great ideas come from. Just consume great ideas. Okay? Consume great ideas. Now, in the time I have left, I want to show you something that I did not put in the book. Let's go back to Luke chapter 19, verse 20 to verse 23 now. I'm going to read it from the New Living Translation. It says, "But the third servant brought back the original amount of money and said, 'Master, I hid your money and kept it safe.'" Until recently, I used to see this guy as a bad person. I mean, his master called him wicked. If you read in Matthew 25, the master even said not just wicked, he said lazy. So because I combine everything together, so I put Matthew 25 and Luke 19 together. He's wicked and lazy. So until very recently, he's just a bad person. But I want you to read between the lines now. Let's read it again. "But the third servant brought back only the original amount of money." I'm trying to show you that it took effort. "And said, 'Master, I hid your money and kept it safe.'" Emphasis on safe. He played safe. "I kept it safe." Why did he do that? What is his motivation? Verse 21. "I was afraid because you are a hard man." Can you see that? This guy is not a bad person. He's just dealing with negative emotions. "I was afraid." It says, because you are a hard man. Or you are a hard man to deal with. Taking what isn't yours and harvesting crops you didn't plant. Now let me share with you what hit me this morning that I never saw before. The story says that the man was of noble birth. So people who are not of noble birth always think that the people of noble birth don't know what they are talking about. You were born into money. You don't know what it means to suffer. That's number one. Number two, he was going to be made king. And his people sent a delegation to say, "We don't want this man to be our king." Those people, are you following me now? But he was made king anyway. Maybe next checklist seminar, I'm going to teach on the psychology of winning. Because for me, the new character unveiled is this person himself. How you are that kind of person that is misunderstood. That kind of person that people antagonize, but then you succeed anyhow. But that's another matter for another day. So he was made king anyhow, but watch this. He has a servant in his house who has also drank the Kool-Aid of the masses. What people who were not working for him were thinking about him was exactly what this guy was thinking about him. There were two other guys working for the same person. They did not consider him a hard man. Do you understand? They did not consider him somebody who reaps where he does not sow. They saw him differently. They perceived him differently. So they responded to him differently. He gave them 1 mina. One was so motivated, he turned 1 mina to 10 minas and became governor of 10 cities. Is this man still a bad person? Do you understand now? Is he a bad person? You know what he did? This guy went to be made king. And he knew, as a king, I need governors. For me to have governors, I need to upgrade people from the lower class to the higher class. But I need people who understand that your class is not a function of where you were born, but what you do with opportunities. So it was a test to see whether they recognize opportunities. Because when he came back, he said, "You've been faithful in little." This guy played safe in a small matter. Do you understand now? Because he could not read his environment correctly. He could not read his opportunities. So the master said, see, when you see Mina from today, remove the word, take money off your mind and replace it with opportunity. Take opportunity away from the person who is not doing anything with opportunity and give it to the person who is making the most of opportunity. Watch this. From the perspective of nobility, 1 mina is chicken change. From the perspective of the peasant, 1 mina is my ticket to greatness. Are you getting this right now? So you don't want to make the mistake of calling 1 mina what the rich man calls 1 mina. Because you see, the rich man will spend 1 mina. But what qualifies you to serve the rich man is that you must see the value in 1 mina and be able to turn it to 10. Because not every rich person was born rich. As a matter of fact, if you are born into wealth and you don't master wealth creation, you will lose it. Are we getting this right now? So you see, to be born without a silver spoon can be a blessing in disguise. If you realize that being born into wealth does not guarantee learning how to build wealth. But if you are born outside wealth, you don't have a choice. Their electives is your compulsory. Do you understand what I'm saying now? So you have a greater chance mastering wealth creation if you are born poor than if you are born rich. Because the mistake of the rich is to not let their children go through suffering. But the only way we learn is through suffering. So do you want to say God didn't bless you again? Because you know how to build wealth. Because the best way to understand the value of money is to live without it. That's the truth. Okay, so what am I talking about? Negative emotions will only produce wrong decisions. Negative emotions will only produce wrong decisions. This guy was afraid. There is nothing you do afraid that turns out well. You know what I do? When people are working or people are around me and they're afraid, I abandon them. The moment we're relating, we're talking, and I notice you are afraid. You're afraid of me, or you are doing things fearfully, I back off. Because wrong emotions lead to what? Wrong decisions. I mean, look at this guy. He was born poor. He was a servant, and he was given an opportunity to become a governor. And he squandered it by playing safe. He called hard a generous man. He called his mentor his tormentor. And that's why I love this story. All of them were servants. So sometimes when you see some people being lifted, it's not because they have better opportunities. Sometimes it's because they handled well what you squandered. Listen, it takes a healthy mind to generate exceptional ideas. There's nothing wrong with your equipment. It's your emotions that is messing you up. You are intelligent, created in the nature of God. Each and every one of us is a genius. So if you're currently producing abysmal results, it's not a function of your wiring. It is emotions getting in the way. Let me say it in another way. If your goose is sick, it will not lay eggs. Remember that story about the golden goose? Yeah, your mind is that golden goose. The ideas it generates are the eggs. So I tell people, feed your goose so that it can continue to what? To lay eggs. But if your goose is sick, it will not lay eggs for you. So what I'm asking you to do, first one, invest in emotional health and mental fitness. An investment. Invest in emotional health and mental fitness. And I want to be practical with you. This is not something you just write down somewhere and forget about it. Write down under it, what am I going to do about it? As I go into a new year, I have to be emotionally healthy. I have to be mentally fit. Do you understand? What are you going to do about it? If you need spiritual help, get spiritual help. If you need professional help, get professional help. Stop sweeping it under the rug. Let me give you a small test. If you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like $1 million, something is wrong. Do you understand? For those of us who are parents, I want you to observe your children. When they are just born, before you had any influence on them, have you noticed every child feels loved? Every child loves everybody. Children are not afraid. I still saw a video this morning. A boy was about to learn how to ride a bicycle, and the father asked him, how are you sure that you will not fall? He looked at the father and said, because I know you will catch me. That's a child for you. It's as we grow older, the environment now begins to affect us. So you need to get up. First and foremost, tell yourself the truth. This is the way I feel, and it is not healthy. Any pain that rest cannot fix. You see a doctor, Abi? Yeah, you sleep, you wake up, the feeling is not going away. Get help. Get spiritual help. Get professional help. Talk to somebody. Don't just pretend as if all is well. If you are not generating exceptional ideas, something is wrong. By your design, you're supposed to be spewing wisdom. That's your design. If that is not happening, it's your emotions getting in the way, just like this guy. So invest in emotional health and mental fitness. I can't be specific because we're all different and we're dealing with different things. For example, some of us, you need to reduce your expectation of yourself. Full stop. Stress is not a function of load. Stress is a function of the incapacity of the person to bear the load. So what you are dealing with is not too much, but you can't. Some of us need to humble ourselves and move from Lekki back to Yaba. I mean it figuratively. There are some goals you have set for yourselves that currently are beyond you. Do you understand? Reduce pressure. Stop trying to... Listen, if you die, we will bury you and life will continue. Nigerians are very terrible people. I've not observed other people, but I know of Nigerians. Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, accident scene. The same thing happens all the time. All of them, 120, 130, 150, 140. Then they will not see accidents, they will come to 40. And they will cause traffic. Everybody will slow down. Everybody will observe. A few generous people will park and try and help. Oh, hey, yeah. Then for the next 10 minutes, everybody is on 65 kilometers per hour. Then move to 80. Then 90. 20 minutes, they're back to 120. God forbid you are the one that died in that accident. That's it. They have moved on. They have moved on. They can sing songs, play it on radio when you die, but they still move on. Now, there's nothing wrong in dying, no. But you don't want to die before your time. You don't want to die when you are not supposed to die. So sometimes you need to reduce pressure. I don't know what you have to do, but you need to tell yourself what you have to do. You may need to cut off some relationships. If you have people that are putting you under too much pressure, back off. You may need to own up and tell the babe, I'm not as rich as you think, oh. Because all this cinema, that happened between my children very recently, and they were asking me, they're on holiday now, Daddy, when are we going to the cinema? I said, come, let's have a meeting. I said, are you aware that the price of one movie ticket is more than the price of Netflix subscription in a month? See, my son is a very diplomatic person. He's a politician. He likes to calculate. So you know all the movies on Netflix, all the shows on Netflix. I said, and that's just one person's ticket, just you, me. And I said, you remember Sonic the Hedgehog? Say yes. You remember we went to see it at the cinema? Say yes. See, now it's on Netflix, have you? Yes. With patience. Everything in the cinema will come and meet us. But that you will pressure me. And I'll be standing there, I'll be buying popcorn and don't need. I'm a nice dad. I'm a nice dad. I take my children to the cinema. No. We have a 60-inch TV. Draw the curtains. We have surround speakers. Increase the volume. Don't worry, we are not disturbing anybody. Watch the movie, sleep, wake up. You can wind, you can rewind, you can pause, you can stop. At the cinema, they don't do that. Enjoy yourself. You want snacks? Get snacks in the cabinet. Sit down here. The next time we go to the mall, we're going to buy ice cream. I'm a politician too. Because you know that the price of ice cream for the two of them is still cheaper than one movie ticket. So reduce pressure. Okay? Reduce pressure. Some people listening to me right now, you are no longer as productive at work because of what's happening at home. So go back home and reduce pressure. We can't afford turkey. We can't afford chicken. Summer now is Olumorok. For now. Let me breathe. I'm sharing with you that my wife and daughter are around does not mean I'm trying to say anything. It's you I'm talking to, okay? I'm just saying, if they get stray bullets. Okay, so invest in emotional health and mental fitness. Number 2, remember, if you don't use it, you will lose it. If you don't use it, you will lose it. I wrote down something, I just want to read it out to you. Your thinking muscles get stronger with use. Don't wait for big problems before you demand big ideas from your mind. Train your mind with everyday issues. Engage. Participate in meetings and brainstorming sessions. Listen to this one. If your mind is not used to generating big ideas, it will shut down to protect you when big problems arise. Oh, big problems are what? Opportunities in disguise. But when your mind is not used to generating big ideas, when a big problem shows up, your mind will shut down to protect you. Big problem, don't kill my Oga. You will now sit in that board meeting, you will say, no idea. Because your mind is not used to solving problems like that. So don't wait for big problems. You're just gisting with a few friends. Somebody wants to travel, he needs 5 million, and he has only 2 million, and he wants to generate 3 million. Don't be like, it's not my problem. Engage. So that the day your own 3 million problem comes, you are used to generating solutions at that level. That's the truth. All the things I did when I worked for my pastor, okay, became my equipping when I started leading a church. Everything I have done leading the church have now become equipping for my personal life. I tell people this all the time. When I'm going to build my house, it's going to be the easiest thing I've ever done. But I have artisans. I know where to get materials. I know how to do everything because I've done it for somebody else. Why? I engaged. Casual conversations. Engage. Okay? Engage with Nigeria's government. Engage. With your football club. Engage. When your star player is sick. Sir, who is the coach going to use now? Don't wait till they show the match. Pretend as if you are the coach. Say, if I move this guy to this place, then I move that guy to that place. And I move this one to defense. We go from back 3 to back 4. I will be able to keep up. If we can defend till like 60th minute, then we can try to hit them in counter-attack. Even if we finish 0-0, it's not a bad match. Engage. When your husband is talking, ladies, please engage. Don't be like, I don't understand what he's doing. If your husband is making money and your mind is not involved in the process of his making money, one day you will be a burden and not a blessing. Because as men grow in their capacity, they want to surround themselves with problem solvers. And the lie so many ladies tell themselves is a man's world. It is not true. Anybody that is successful in this world has a perfect blend, or perhaps not an imperfect blend, of logic and emotions. So when you see any man that is all logic and no emotions, he's not going anywhere. You see a man that is all emotions and no logic, he's not going anywhere. You see a lady, all emotions and no logic, she's not going anywhere. Okay, the Bukwawoshikas, all the ladies who are on top of their game in a man's world, it is because they engage the same equipment all of us have. They use their minds. Are we getting this? And the reason why God created us in twos, male and female, is so that we can rub off on each other. Okay? But a lot of people don't like to engage. Some people don't like to engage emotionally. I used to be that guy. I still struggle. Okay? But it dawned on me, I have to learn. My wife is a natural empath. So I will run things by her. I will push her to do some things. Then I tell myself from time to time, Segun, you have to do this by yourself. You have to call this person. You have to hold this conversation. Sometimes I care for people. I don't know how to show it. But I've come to find out that people don't read minds. So I have to express it. I'm one of the happiest people on earth because of SMS. Because what I can't say to you to your face, I can type. And people still feel it anyway. So one of our friends lost his dad recently. I said I was going to call him. When the time came for me to call him, I didn't know what to say. So I asked ChatGPT for help. Write me a condolence message for a friend. And then he gave me an idea. And I edited here and there. When I sent it, thank you very much. Thank you very much. What I'm saying to you is I realized without expressing emotions, I'm not going to go far. A lot of times people don't do business with you because you are the only one selling. They do business because they like you. And people like people that like them. So if you don't know how to express emotions, you are going to be bankrupt. It's as simple as that. Some of us guys will hide it under, I don't want to get married. I'm not thinking about marriage right now. Okay, you are smelling 40. And tell yourself the truth. I need to know how to express emotions. Okay? We're out of time. Let's see if we can cover one more before we finish. So I said what? If you don't use it, you will lose it. Now this one is a popular one. I say it all the time. Your first idea is never your best idea. Your first idea is never your best idea. So make a habit of demanding more from your mind. Never go with your first idea. Okay? Let me throw a test at you. When you are trying to solve problems, when you're trying to generate ideas, don't move on until you have generated at least 5 ideas. For each problem, 5 ideas. Do you understand? You need to understand, look, this is one equipment God has given us. It's not a waste. So one of our leaders was preparing a speech recently, and she came up with about 10 pages at first. When she sent me a script, it was 6 pages. And I said to her, you need to condense this down to 3 pages. As a matter of fact, your best is 1 page. But if you have 2 pages, it's okay. And she was just overwhelmed. And then I gave her an idea. I said, it's okay. Consider the things you are going to cut off as material for the next time you're going to make a presentation. But don't go with your first idea. The longer the presentation, the easier it is to prepare for. The shorter the presentation, the more difficult. Because it's always, what do I say? What do I remove? But never, make it a habit. And never go with your first idea. Because your first is not your best. Okay? Your first is never your best. You have the capacity to do what? To produce more. And finally, be an explorer, not an expert. Be an explorer, not an expert. What am I saying? Embrace experiments. Okay? Embrace experiments. No matter how intelligent you are, you cannot tell how well your ideas will perform until you start executing them. So at the point of generating ideas, stop trying to generate the perfect idea. It is an experiment. Okay? It's an experiment. Experimenting predisposes you to generating multiple ideas. Every experiment has the potential for one of 3 outcomes: failure, success, or discovery. This is the attitude you have to have when you are trying to solve a problem. Whatever idea I generate now to solve this problem can lead to one of these 3 options. It can be outright failure. So at the point of generating the idea, you are not an expert. You are trying to discover something. So don't put pressure on yourself. You give it your best shot, but it may fail. It may succeed. Or I may discover something I was not even considering before. So many inventions we have in our world today that the people that invented them were not planning to invent what they invented, but they were doing experiments. Let's round up this way. Hal Varian is the chief economist at Google. The man is 74 years old. Look at what he said. He said, "We don't want high-level executives discussing whether a blue background or a yellow background will lead to more ad clicks. Why debate this point since we can simply run an experiment to find out?" Do you get it? A lot of times, the reason why some of us don't even generate ideas, we don't move, is because we are trying to come up with the perfect solution. No. You want to know at the point of meeting somebody whether you should marry the person or not. No. Befriend the person first and find out. Am I going to succeed in textile business? Start it first and see what happens. The reason why a lot of us have stayed in the boat and never walked on water is because we are looking for the perfect strategy. Don't be an expert. Be an explorer.